Well, there, very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan.
And I am Rochelle Thamodra. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Joint operation in the southern seas result in the seizure of over 700 kilograms of narcotics from 2 fishing vessels. Passports fraudulently created for underworld figures using the fingerprints of a substitute individual. IGP Deshabandhu summoned again to the investigative committee. Speculation surrounds a potential move of Risa to Colombo from SJB, whilst the NPP asserts its dominance in Colombo. Bandarigoda and Aluvihare are back at organizer positions. With increased rainfall expected, advisories issued to fishermen to avoid venturing out to sea.
On to those stories in detail. Sri Lanka police revealed that approximately 778 kilograms of heroin and crystal methamphetamine, also known as ice, were discovered aboard 2 multi-day fishing vessels during a special operation conducted in the southern deep seas. The 2 vessels, which were intercepted by security forces in deep waters, were brought ashore earlier this morning.
In a joint operation conducted several days ago in the southern deep seas, the State Intelligence Service, Police Narcotics Bureau, Regional Operations Coordination Centre and the Sri Lanka Navy intercepted 2 multi-day fishing vessels suspected of trafficking narcotics. The vessels have been identified as Jairusit and Nirosh 4. Investigations have revealed that the boats departed from the Deundara Fisheries Harbour on the 6th of May and 14th of May respectively. At approximately 7 a.m. today, the 2 vessels along with 11 fishermen on board were brought to the Dekovita Fisheries Harbour under naval escort. Inside the vessel, naval officers discovered a chain system designed to deploy packages into the sea with satellite phones connected to the mechanism, indicating a sophisticated smuggling setup. Senior officials including Deputy Defence Minister retired Major General Aruna Jayasekara, Navy Commander Vice Admiral Kanchana Banagoda and Acting IGP Priyantha Veerasurya arrived at the harbour to inspect the operation. Subsequent inspections confirmed that the presence of heroin and crystal methamphetamine hidden within the vessels. According to Navy spokesperson Commander Buddhika Sampath, the operation uncovered 275 kilograms of heroin and 503 kilograms of ice, totaling 778 kilograms of narcotics. All 11 suspects were taken into custody after being formally informed of the charges.
Initial field tests confirmed the presence of ice. Additional parcels contain morphine and heroin. All suspects are being arrested under charges of importing, possessing and trafficking narcotics into Sri Lanka. This operation was meticulously planned based on credible intelligence with coordination from State Intelligence Service, Armed Forces and the Police Narcotics Bureau. Since this government took office, we have seized 754 kilograms of heroin, 1,650 kilograms of ice and large quantities of hashish and cannabis. These operations are conducted 24/7 across our coastal waters.
The seized narcotics and suspects have been handed over to the Police Narcotics Bureau, which have launched a comprehensive investigation into the smuggling network. Preliminary findings suggest that the narcotics originated in Afghanistan and were transferred via Iranian multi-day vessels before being handed over to Sri Lankan boats.
The Criminal Investigation Department has launched an investigation into allegations of immigration officials being involved in a scheme to produce fraudulent passports. This investigation was initiated following an incident involving the creation of a false passport to facilitate the departure of an organized crime figure from the country.
A fraudulent passport was allegedly created for an individual known as Karandeni Lala, a key associate of Karandeni Sutta, who faces accusations related to multiple organized crimes, including drug trafficking and murder. Police report that a surrogate individual was used to provide fingerprints for the passport application. It has been revealed that the fingerprints taken were from the middle finger instead of the required thumbprint. The individual who provided the fingerprints has been arrested. Police have identified him as a resident of Veveldenia within a history of drug addiction. During interrogation, the suspect claimed he was transported to the Immigration Department with a three-wheeler and there he provided fingerprints for the passport application. He further stated that he was paid 10,000 rupees for his involvement. Investigations are currently underway to identify immigration officials involved in this illegal activity. In related news, police have reported that the wife and children of Karandeni Sutta have also left the country. Investigations into his assets are ongoing.
Suspended Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakoon has again been summoned to appear before the three-member committee of inquiry appointed to investigate and report on allegations of misconduct and serious abuse of office against him. The committee, chaired by Supreme Court Justice Preeti Padman Surasena, convened at 2 p.m. today. Deshabandhu Tennakoon appeared before the committee for the first time on the 19th of May and he made representations before the committee today as well.
The Supreme Court scheduled a hearing for the 8th of September regarding petitions seeking a ruling that the decision made by then-President Ranil Wickremesinghe to appoint Deshabandhu Tennakoon as Inspector General of Police without the formal approval of the Constitutional Council was unconstitutional. The petitions were called before a Supreme Court bench comprising Justices Janak De Silva, Sobhita Rajakaruna and Sampath Wijeyaratne. 9 parties have filed these petitions challenging the appointment of Deshabandhu Tennakoon as IGP, including His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit and the Young Journalists Association. In their petitions, the petitioners argue that the decision made by then-President Ranil Wickremesinghe to appoint Deshabandhu Tennakoon as IGP, despite the Constitutional Council not approving his nomination with a majority vote while he was serving as the Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Western Province, is unconstitutional. An interim injunction has already been issued, preventing Deshabandhu Tennakoon from functioning as IGP in relation to these petitions.
The Colombo Additional Magistrate Pasan Amarasena has granted a permission for the Colombo Crime Division to detain and interrogate 3 suspects for a period of 24 hours in connection with the shooting targeting the vehicle of Tusita Halalua, the former acting director of the National Lotteries Board.
The authorization was granted following the suspect's presentation before the court by CCD officers earlier today. During the court proceedings held within the magistrate's chambers, one of the suspects, identified as Mohammed Shafni, expressed his desire to provide a statement regarding the incident to the magistrate. Furthermore, the magistrate ordered the prison superintendent to present 3 individuals, including a woman previously arrested and held in remand prison in connection with the case, before the court tomorrow at 2 p.m. These individuals were arrested and remanded on charges of aiding and abetting the shooting. The case is scheduled to be recalled tomorrow, and in total, 6 suspects have been arrested over the incident. Former Minister Duminda Dissanayake, who was recently remanded in connection with the discovery of a gold-coloured T-56 assault rifle, has been transferred back to Magazine Prison following a medical evaluation. According to prison spokesperson Kamini B. Dissanayake, the former minister was initially admitted to the prison hospital on court orders for medical treatment. After being examined by a specialist doctor, he was deemed fit to return to regular remand custody. Disanayaka was arrested last week after police recovered the weapon from an apartment complex in Vellavatha. He was presented before court the following day and subsequently remanded.
Minister K.D. Lalkantha announced today in Kandy that the National People's Power has successfully secured control of the Colombo Municipal Council. Meanwhile, the Samagijana Balavege stated that it is currently considering the appointment of Riza Zaruk as the mayor of Colombo.
The National People's Power secured the highest number of seats in the Colombo Municipal Council in the recent local government elections, winning a total of 48 seats. The Samagijana Balavege followed with 29 seats, while the United National Party obtained 13 seats. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna secured 5 seats. An additional 11 seats were won by members of the United Peace Alliance, the Democratic National Alliance and independent groups. The NPP has confirmed that all 11 of these members have pledged their support, bringing the total number of seats aligned with the NPP to 59. With 117 total seats in the Colombo Municipal Council, a minimum of 59 seats is required to form a majority.
We are committed to expanding the National People's Power in every institution where we've secured a majority. Our work isn't done. We are continuing to grow the movement by bringing in more allies through various approaches and strategies. Wherever we hold a majority, we are forming inclusive administrations by engaging with others. In Colombo, we have already secured control. The only step remaining is to make it official. We have selected our mayoral candidate, our comrade Rai Baltazar, and completed all internal procedures. Now it's just a matter of formally announcing it and proceeding with the legal and administrative steps.
The Samagijana Balavege announced today that it is currently considering Riza Zaruk, one of its elected members to the Colombo Municipal Council, as a potential candidate for the position of Mayor of Colombo. SJP Deputy General Secretary Mujibur Rahman said that the party intends to officially announce its mayoral nominee once the Colombo Municipal Council is formally convened.
We initially anticipated the council meet on the 2nd, but according to regulations, members must be given at least 7 days notice. As of now, that timeline appears too short, so the meeting may be scheduled for a later date. We will officially announce its mayoral candidate in the coming days once the new date for the council meeting is confirmed.
Even if the Samagijana Balavege and the United National Party were to form an alliance, their combined total in the Colombo Municipal Council would amount to only 42 seats. Even with the potential support of 5 members elected under the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, the total would still only reach 47 seats. Meanwhile, the SLPP has clarified that it has not reached any agreement to support an SJB nominee for the position of Mayor of Colombo.
At present, the opposition holds most seats in the council. However, we cannot confirm whether the Samagijana Balavege will appoint the mayor. Whether that individual is from the SLPP, an independent group, or the United National Party has not yet been determined.
Several Samagijana Balavege electoral organizers had previously announced their intent to resign from their positions, seemingly in an effort to influence internal party decisions. Specifically, concerns were raised publicly regarding the selection process for members appointed to local authorities. Among those expressing dissatisfaction were the organizers for Gol, Bandulal Bandarigoda, and for Rathota, Ranjit Aluvihare. However, both Bandarigoda and Aluvihare have now announced their decision to remain in their organizing positions following assurances from the party leadership that their concerns are being addressed.
We previously announced our resignation due to ideological conflicts regarding the appointment of members to local authorities. However, the party leader is very approachable and listened to our concerns during discussions. He is expected to make decisions regarding these issues within the next few days and gave us positive assurances that he is addressing the situation. Therefore, we have no further issues.
ඒ නිසා අපිට වෙනත් කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ.
නායකතුමත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කරා.
I discussed my concerns with the party leader and he responded accordingly. In some cases, appointments were not based on the established criteria. This has been rectified. After speaking with the leader, I have resolved the issue.
එතුමත් එක්ක කතා කළේ ඒක අවසන් කරා.
Who will receive the support of the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress to establish power in local government institutions? Party leader Rauf Hakim commented on this matter today in Kandy.
අපි දැනට සමගි ජන බල වේගයේ සන්ධානයේ කොටස්කාරයෝ හැටියට
As a partner within the Samagi Jana Balavegi Alliance, we have received requests for our support in forming local governments. In addition to this, while we've had some ground-level discussions and invitations from the ruling party, we haven't received an official request from them. We will consider supporting the ruling party only if the SJB faces difficulties in forming governance in areas where we have been requested to help. In the north and east, the SJB secured very few councillors contesting under their banner. In areas where we have a larger number of councillors and where there are also a few members from the ruling party, we may have to engage in discussions under this unusual system. Our regional leaders are discussing how to resolve this. However, we have not yet had any discussions with the main leaders of the central government.
ඒ අර අපිට මධ්‍යම ආණ්ඩුවේ ප්‍රධානීන් එක්ක කිසිම සාකච්ඡාවක් තාම අපි කරලා නැහැ.
සමගි ජන බලවේගයේ නායකය සම්බන්ධ යම් යම් විවේචන තියෙනවා. ඔබතුමන්ලා සමගි ජන බලවේගයේ නායකයාට මේ අවස්ථාවේ මොකක්ද ඔබතුමන්ලා පහුල්කාර පක්ෂයක් වශයෙන් මොකක්ද දෙන්නේ අනිවිඩේ?
එතුමාගේ නායකත්වය
The question of his leadership must first be decided within the Samagi Jana Balavegi itself. As long as he remains the leader of that party and the leader of the Samagi Alliance, he has our support.
ඒ පක්ෂයේ නායකය වෙලා හිටින තාක්කල් අපේ සහයෝගය එතුමාට තිබෙනවා.
ඔබතුමා හවුල්කාර පක්ෂයක නායකයෙක් වශයෙන් කල්පනා කරන සමගි ජන බලවේගයේ සහ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය එක් විය යුතුයි කියලා.
මම නම් හිතන්නේ එක් විය යුතුයි කියලා.
Personally, I think they should unite. This issue should be resolved before another national election. That is my opinion and my request.
Newsfirst with the people.
Radosław Sikorski, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Poland, arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport this morning, marking the start of a 3-day official visit. He is visiting Sri Lanka in the context of Poland holding the presidency of the Council of the European Union. The official visit of the Polish Foreign Minister will continue until the 31st of May.
Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski, who also represents Poland's presidency of the Council of the European Union, has expressed agreement on the need to explore establishing a new visa facilitation office in Sri Lanka in response to the challenges faced by Sri Lankans when applying for visas to EU member states. The announcement came during a high-level meeting between Polish Foreign Minister and current President of the EU Council, Radosław Sikorski, and Sri Lanka's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Vijita Herath. Minister Sikorski, who arrived in Colombo this morning for a 3-day official visit, acknowledged the difficulties Sri Lankans face in the visa process and expressed agreement on the need for a local solution. The proposal to open a visa facilitation office was welcomed as a step towards improving people-to-people connectivity and mobility. During the meeting, Minister Herath thanked Poland and the EU for their continued support, particularly the extension of the GSP Plus trade concession, which has been vital for Sri Lanka's export economy. The Polish Foreign Minister also noted Sri Lanka's growing appeal as a tourist destination for Polish nationals with over 40,000 visitors annually. He added that Poland is prepared to expand employment opportunities for seasonal workers and increase educational exchange programs for Sri Lankan students.
The Bar Association of Sri Lanka has filed a fundamental rights petition in the Supreme Court following the suicide of Charit Dilshanda Ananda, a 23-year-old second-year student at Kataragama University's Faculty of Technology. The petition was filed by BASL President Rajiv Amarasuriya and Secretary Chatura Galhena.
The Vice-Chancellor of the Kataragama University, the Disciplinary Committee of the University, the University Grants Commission, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Justice, the Inspector General of Police, the Minister of Public Security and the Attorney General have been named as respondents in the case. The petitioners say that they filed the petition with the intention of ending ragging at universities. The petitioners allege that Charit Dilshanda Ananda, 23 years old, A second-year student at Kataragama University's Faculty of Technology was subjected to sustained ragging by senior students, including a degrading incident on the 26th of April 2025, shortly before his death. The petitioners allege that the failure of the Kataragama University authorities, the University Grants Commission, the police and others to enforce anti-ragging laws and to protect students has led to this tragedy. The petition highlights systemic and institutional failures, including repeated inaction and a culture of impunity that enabled the abuse. The petition states that ragging violated the fundamental rights to equal protection of the law and freedom from torture under Articles 12(1) and 11 of the Constitution.
The Department of Meteorology has cautioned fishermen in certain areas from venturing out to sea until further notice. The Met Department issued a red alert this afternoon.
The Department of Meteorology says that wind speeds may increase up to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour at times in the sea areas off the coast, extending from Chilan to Kankasanturai via Puttalam and Mana and from Galle to Pottuவில் via Hambantota. The department added that the seas in these areas will be very rough at times and fishing and other maritime communities are advised not to venture into these sea areas until further notice. The Met Department says that due to the influence of the active southwest monsoon weather condition, prevailing showery weather over the western and Kataragama provinces and in the Galle, Matra, Nuwara and Kandy districts are expected to continue. The National Buildings Research Organisation, or the NBRO, has issued landslide early warnings to 8 divisional secretariats in 4 districts. The NBRO issued level 1 warnings to Alpetia in the Galle district, Pal in the Nuwara in the Kaluthara district, Gangaihala Korale and Pasbaga Korale in the Kandy district. The NBRO said that the landslide warnings have also been issued to the Aranayaka, Bulatkahupitia, Yatyantota and Ruanwala divisional secretariats in the Galle district.
Far from the city noise, under a mango tree, children turn broken desks into a stage. They sing, they dance, they try. No bright lights, no big crowds, just a small school and big dreams. Change is coming. An open-air stage for the Kataragama Primary School. Gametta, for the people, by the people.
With your name, your unique talent, your phone number. To Sri Lanka's Got Talent PO Box 100 Ratmalana or WhatsApp us on 076 599 7788.
Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasuriya has emphasized the critical role of evaluation in shaping effective public policy and preventing systematic failures, stating that development efforts must be guided by evidence, not just intention. She made these remarks while attending the joint inauguration of the Evaluation Conclave 2025 and the Summit for the Future of Evaluation held in Colombo yesterday.
The Evaluation Conclave 2025, organized by the Community of Evaluators South Asia, officially inaugurated in Colombo yesterday under the theme Future Ready Evaluation, Integrating Voices and Localizing Evaluation for Global Impact.
When development efforts fall short, the consequences are not only financial, they affect lives, livelihoods and opportunity. Evaluation, when integrated throughout the life cycle of policies and programs, help identify risks early, assess progress, and derive lessons for course correction. It strengthens delivery across sectors: education, health, economy, climate, humanitarian action, and supports better results for both people and the environment. Evaluation also helps us understand the effectiveness of our policies through credible evidence. It reveals not only our successes, but also where improvements are needed, particularly in addressing issues of equity and inclusion. It can expose weaknesses in both policy design and implementation, allowing us to better serve those who are often left out. In Sri Lanka, evaluation is a requirement across public institutions. This reflects our belief that public decisions must be guided by what we know, not just what we hope. But then again, Sri Lanka is probably a great example of where these practices and bodies of knowledge and associations have existed for so long and were still unable to prevent or even predict some of the crises that we've had to face recently.
This year's conclave is particularly significant as it features the Summit for the Future of Evaluation, a flagship global initiative co-led by the UNFPA Independent Evaluation Office, Eval Youth Global Network, the Global Parliamentarians Forum for Evaluation, and the International Organization for Cooperation in Evaluation.
In appreciation of his leadership and unwavering commitment to strengthening evaluation networks and fostering global collaboration. Congratulations, Mr. Musa.
Sri Lanka is committed to maintaining a balanced and neutral stance amid growing geopolitical competition between global powers such as China and the United States. Dr. Anil Jayantha, Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Economic Development, made this comment during a panel discussion at the World Utilities Congress taking place in Abu Dhabi.
China wants influence. The Americans want influence. You know, how do you balance these two with your financial institutions?
Yeah, of course. If you have a clear strategic plan, actually funding is not a problem anymore, I suppose. The funding is available.
If you have a strategy.
Yeah, so we have a strategy. As of now, number of programs are also the running, and the programs are also in the pipeline. And technical assistance and the support also can be taken. So what matters there is how best this funding is really channeled for your need, so your local needs, and addressing, especially keeping the targets on sustainable water resource management and the integration. So these are the key issues. So here in Sri Lanka, now we have already done several studies. We have, as I just highlighted, the rich heritage, where we have gathered a kind of tacit knowledge, especially in the water management and irrigation. There is one particular canal called Yoda Ella, that is a giant canal. The gradient and the slope of that canal is just 10 centimeters per 1 kilometer. So in such a sophisticated the piece of works are there. So unfortunately, this tacit knowledge, the knowledge that we have learned over time by doing things, are really alienated, disintegrated from the present funding and new development. So it is our responsibility. So our task is to plug them together. Then we will find a way out of this issue. So this is what we have thought of as far as Sri Lanka's integrated water management and the utility management is concerned.
You've got India-Pakistan, serious tensions like we haven't seen in decades, actually. How do you avoid the politics and then deepen that collaboration? Because South Asia strategically is extremely important. Right?
Yes, of course. Being a small country, we are not going to be a part of this geopolitical, the clashes in the world, but rather we extend our collaboration support and the partnering to all. So we maintain that stance, and we hope that we can continue with that sphere. And again, just connecting to the water, we may hold different the portfolios, and we take different actions within our own purviews and our own capacities, our own responsibilities. We should be finally held accountable for our action, whether we do the right things, whether we maintain ethical conduct. So this is what matters at the end of the day. I think above all, if we can act not as any specific different the categories or political labels, rather as humans, I think the solution at global level would be found in our near future.
Japan is no longer the world's leading creditor nation, and that's a first in 34 years. Germany has taken the top spot despite Japan's record overseas assets. Japan had held the top position since surpassing Germany in 1991.
Japan's position as the world's leading net creditor nation over the years was due to decades of current account surpluses, leading to substantial foreign investments by Japanese entities. According to the Ministry of Finance data quoted by Bloomberg, Japan's net external assets reached 533.05 trillion yen at the end of 2024, showing a 13% increase from the previous year. Although this figure was a record high, Germany surpassed it with net external assets of 569.7 trillion yen. China maintained its third position with net assets of 516.3 trillion yen. Germany's rise to the top position is attributed to its substantial current account surplus of 248.7 billion euros in 2024, primarily due to strong trade performance. In comparison, Japan's surplus was 29.4 trillion yen, approximately 180 billion euros. The loss of this position indicates that whilst Japan's assets continue to grow, other nations, including Germany and China, have experienced stronger actual demand.
US President Donald Trump's administration has ordered embassies to stop scheduling appointments for student visas as it prepares to expand social media vetting for such applicants. In a copy of the memo sent to diplomatic posts, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the pause would last until further guidance is issued.
Foreign students who want to study in the US are usually required to schedule interviews at an American embassy in their home country before approval. Many institutions rely on foreign students for a significant chunk of their funding, as they often pay higher tuition fees. When asked about students' visas, State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce told reporters that the administration takes very seriously the process of vetting who it is that comes into the country.
There is reporting that the administration may require all foreign students to undergo social media vetting, and that embassies and consulates are pausing interviews for new student visas, according to a cable from Secretary Rubio. Is that accurate, and do you have any other information?
Well, you're discussing that. That's something that has not been discussed publicly. It would have to be leaked material if it exists. What I can remind everyone of, which we've discussed for months here, is that we use every tool in our tool chest to vet anyone coming in who wants to come into this country, and in order to do so, it has to apply for a visa to gain access to our nation. So every sovereign country has a right to know who's trying to come in, why they want to come in, who they are, what they've been doing, and at least hopefully within that framework, determine what they will be doing while they're here. So that's nothing new. And we will continue to use every tool we can to assess who it is that's coming here, whether they are students or otherwise.
The Secretary himself has said that the vast majority of students in the country, foreign students, have done nothing wrong. They shouldn't be worried about their visas. They're welcome to study at American universities. People going to universities this fall, foreign students, should they be concerned that their visas won't be processed in time? Do you think that is the State Department confident that people can still attend autumn semesters?
Well, this is every dynamic, and again, we don't speak about individual visa cases. We don't speak about the nature of the choices made about individuals. We do know, though, that we take very seriously the process of vetting who it is that comes into the country. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to vet, and we continue to have an interest. Again, whether they be student or if you're a tourist who needs a visa or whoever you are, we're going to be looking at you. I think why it seems to be such a controversial thing that's going on, but it shouldn't be. And every nation should take seriously, and does, who's coming in. So if you're going to be applying for a visa, follow the normal process, the normal steps, expect to be looked at, and we go on from there.
The Trump administration has frozen hundreds of millions of dollars in funding for universities and moved to deport students while revoking thousands of visas for others. Many of these actions have been blocked by the courts. The White House has accused some U.S. universities of allowing pro-Palestinian activism on campus to be hijacked by anti-Semitism. Colleges have accused the Trump administration of trying to infringe upon free speech rights. Harvard University has been the focal point of President Donald Trump's ire. Last week, the Trump administration revoked Harvard's ability to enroll international students or host foreign researchers. A federal judge blocked the policy. If the measure is allowed, it could deliver a devastating blow to the university, where more than a quarter of students are foreign.
Harvard students protested after the US government said it intends to cancel all remaining financial contracts with the university. President Donald Trump's latest attempt to force the prestigious institution to submit to unprecedented oversight. Hundreds of students gathered to oppose Trump's widening offensive, including Tuesday's measures estimated to be worth $100 million against the university that has drawn his ire for refusing to give up control of curriculum, admissions and research. A judge issued a restraining order pending a hearing on the matter scheduled for Thursday, the same day as the university's commencement graduation ceremony, for which thousands of graduating students and their families had gathered in Cambridge, Massachusetts, near Boston.
You already know. Now, as many of you know,
the White House, meanwhile, doubled down on its offensive, saying that instead of Harvard, public money should go to vocational schools that train electricians and plumbers.
Acclaimed filmmaker and Academy Award nominee Deepa Mehta arrived in Sri Lanka for a special event celebrating her work and the country's role in international filmmaking.
Acclaimed filmmaker and Academy Award nominee Deepa Mehta, best known for her powerful and thought-provoking films such as Water, Midnight's Children and Funny Boy, arrived in Sri Lanka.
Hello everybody, it's an absolute pleasure to come to Sri Lanka again and to land in Colombo, which has been the home of 3 of our most important films. And thank you, Brandon, for inviting us, and thank you, Sri Lankans, for having us. It's a pleasure.
Her visit is part of a larger effort to highlight Sri Lanka as a vibrant destination for global cinema and film tourism.
Kalinga Kumarage won the bronze medal in the 400-meter event at the Asian Athletics Championship today.
The 26th Asian Athletics Championship was held for the second day today in South Korea. The finals of the 400-meter event was held today. Amar Ibrahim from Qatar won the event by recording a time of 45.33 seconds. Japan won the silver medal. Kalinga Kumarage from Sri Lanka clocked a time of 45.55 seconds and won the bronze medal at the event. Sri Lanka also won the bronze medal in the 400 meters mixed relay. Organisers of the event alleged that the Sri Lankan relay team had violated the rules of the event. However, when the decision was subsequently appealed, the Sri Lanka team was awarded the bronze medal. The Sri Lankan relay team was comprised of Sadev Rajakarna, Kalinga Kumarage, Nishendra Fernando and Sayuri Mendes. Sri Lanka's Nadisha Ramanayaka participated in the finals of the women's 400-meter event. She clocked a time of 54.7 seconds. Sri Lanka's Chamod Yodasinghe participated in the semi-finals of the men's 100 meters event. He came in third, clocking a time of 10.46 seconds. Sri Lanka's Rasara Vijay Surya participated in the women's 10,000 meter event.
We conclude today's main news bulletin with a visit into the heart of a delicate ecological zone, home to the largest cluster of islands along the Mahaveli River.
This is beautiful Sri Lanka.
Good night.
Beautiful Sri Lanka.
Hakinda, a protected ecological sanctuary, is nestled along the Mahaveli River between the boundaries of Gatabe and Dodambala. This pristine zone is home to Hakinda Island Cluster, a breathtaking archipelago of 12 islands, each rich in biodiversity and ecological significance. Renowned globally and recognized as a biodiversity hotspot of the Central Highlands, this region shelters a remarkable array of endemic species found nowhere else on Earth. What makes this area truly unique is its geographic rarity. It contains both the narrowest and the widest points of the Mahaveli River and the highest concentration of river islands within a remarkably short stretch of river. This is not just a place of beauty. It's a living, breathing testament to Sri Lanka's natural heritage.